you ever find anyone that comes to the workshop and for some reason, I won't say they lock writer's block, it's too convenient, but they maybe have some challenges in their past and there's a catharsis going on there and you are the, for lack of a better word, the benefactor of having to coach through that? And I don't want to say psychotherapist, but have you had instances where things come out, you know, later in life that have been repressed and they're wanting to deal with it? I guess that's the other thing. And then is there others that show up and they just don't feel like there's anything worth writing about?
Oh, there's always people that show up and think that there's nothing worth writing about. I mean, especially with elders.
Yeah.
And I think it's generational. I think it's that generation that's so very different from, say, you know, the younger generation that we have today. They've lived these incredible lives, but they're very humble about it, right? So they don't really think that, first of all, that anybody wants to know their story.
Right.
Or hear their story. And I have to explain, yes, we do want to know your story. In fact, your children do, and your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren. As far as the therapeutic value of writing, it's very therapeutic. Now, I'm not a therapist by any means, but writing is therapeutic. I've always found it to be therapeutic for myself, and I would say that everybody that actually engages in writing will tell you the same thing. Because when you're writing, you're trying to understand, and you're writing sometimes in order to understand.
It's true.
So if you're writing and reflecting about your past and the choices that you've made and the experiences that you've had, those are things that, you know, you're calling on yourself to be introspective. And it's a very brain-rich kind of activity to do. So it calls on your memory, it calls on your problem solving. You know, you create an arc of a story and you have to resolve it. For elderly folks, this is really important brain work. And I'm always amazed at how they take a prompt and they are able to turn it into this story that is really good. People ask me all the time, are the stories good? And I'm like, yeah. They're incredible. They really are incredible.
That's awesome.
And I don't always understand it until sometimes it comes full circle. For example, about a month ago, one of my writers passed away. She died. And of course, you know, I'm working with this age population. Any of us could go any day, any second. But she passed away and she died, and I went to her memorial service. And it was really interesting to me. Her family was so thankful that they had these stories. And they were so just grateful that she had taken the care and the time and that I'd guided her through it, but really that she'd done it and she'd resolved a lot probably by doing it.
You bring up an interesting point. You know, that's why I do this show. We come at this from a different angle, of course, but, you know, I've had guests that have passed and we talked about this leading up to this, and it's very moving as a facilitator of a forum. Yours is the writing, mine's a television program. When that happens and the impact it has on others when they see the work, it is amazing.
Then
truly.
you know.
You know.
Yeah. What I've done was what I intended to do.
It's a noble mission. It is.